Not just that fatherlessness is a problem, but true sonship is also a problem.
Morning and welcome to Chinook Podcast. We are back. We are drinking at least 2 Tim Hortons coffees here. And
between the three of us, so we're sharing.
It's cold outside. It was summer in the middle of January, and then all of a sudden we got hit by -20, -25 temperatures and a whole buttload of snow again.
Well, what happened? Who called for this?
I don't know.
I was definitely bitter because I was outside working night shift up in Pink Mountain, and it went to -30.
Right when you were back on shift.
Right in the middle of the shift.
Oh, so in the middle of your shift. Okay.
I'm out there and it's -2, -3. I'm loving life, and then all of a sudden I see the forecast coming down the pipe. So I called my wife and I'm like, "Hey, pack some Long Johns in a box, take them to the shop, drop them off with the parts people so I can get them." And the next thing you know, it hit -30 with horizontal wind, and I'm outside all night.
Oh yes,
this is the thing in Grand Prairie. Like our weather is kind of bipolar.
Well, I think our Grand Prairians are kind of bipolar too, because we get this warm, unseasonably warm weather in January, and we get acclimatized in a roaring hurry.
Yeah,
right.
January.
Doesn't cross our minds. We're in January.
Yes.
There's still like February. There's still like March.
April.
Those are monster cold months.
I mean, June is still coming. I mean, we're gonna have a blizzard in June, guaranteed.
And add to that the extremes of the daylight. So in the middle of the winter, we get 2 less hours of sunlight than Toronto, and in the middle of the summer, we get 2 hours more of sunlight than Toronto, and it kind of screws with your head a bit. So that's why we're all a little bit whacked out up here.
Yes.
I can tell you, there's nothing quite so pleasing as driving to work in the morning when the light is there, and going away from work when it's light.
Oh,
because we do live for a good while in the deep winter without that kind of thing.
Well, for me, it's very noticeable because if you're on night shift, you don't see the sun.
Yeah,
you got to get up at 2:00 in the afternoon and get your 45 minutes of sunlight. But with the current situation, it's much better.
Right.
Yeah, you can sleep in a little bit to 3:00.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, this morning I got out of the house and drove over to the church at 7:40 in the morning, and there was light in the sky, and it was an amazing feeling.
It is. It is marvelous. The Lord is very kind to us.
He is.
We have Lent built right into our calendar up here. It's all winter, including Christmas. We suffer the whole time.
That's right. Yeah, so right at our darkest point, right when the sun is at its lowest point in the sky, December 21, we all start preparing to celebrate the birth of Christ on December 25.
Yep.
Right as the sun starts
coming back,
the days start getting slightly longer again.
Yep.
That makes me wonder if the church calendar like that wasn't really developed by people in the Northern Europe.
We need a party.
We need a party
By the Norwegians, the Scandinavians. It's been dark for so long.
Yeah, that is funny. I know that accusation has been leveled, but yeah.
So anyway, we're going to be talking about Exodus today, but maybe we should talk about some books first.
Yeah, let's talk about books.
And I can get us rolling here.
Please.
So I've recommended this book before. I really do need to recommend it again. Unbelief and Revolution by Guillaume Groen van Prinsterer. The book translated by Harry Van Dyke. Really good book. Van Prinsterer is a mentor, so to speak, of Abraham Kuyper. Van Prinsterer was an anti-revolutionary in the Netherlands in the early 1800s, following the French Revolution, and so he was a state church guy. He was in the Dutch Reformed State Church. He was for the king, and he writes a book basically against the leftist revolutions that had happened following the rise of Marxism, and he has this book is very much a philosophical and biblical and primarily a theological critique of the French Revolution, and he basically boils it down to, well, the issue with the French Revolution is that it was unbelief.
Yep.
Unbelief against God was at the heart of it. And I find it interesting that Solzhenitsyn, 100 years later, he probably never read Van Prinsterer.
Said the same thing.
He comes up with a very similar critique of Soviet Russia. Is why have all these things happened? Well,
we have forgotten God.
Yep.
So anyway, this is a brilliant book, and it's written by a Dutch lawmaker, and so I think it's an intellectual as well as a straightforward, simple critique of the French Revolution,
Which deserves eternal condemnation.
Yes.
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 And we should condemn it over and over again.
Yes. As rapidly, loudly, and often as possible.
Yes. And so he's especially a defender of constitutional rights and constitutional law. So and believes that Christianity played a very central role in the West in developing constitutional norms, which here in Canada as well, we've got a constitution and we've got rights, but it's been totally confused. So
I remember back in about 2000 or so when I was living in Red Deer, I was working in this music store, and there was this young gal who was in there, and she liked talking about history, and so we had talked about a little bit about the French Revolution. I had said, that was a really bad deal. You should have seen the shock on her face, because she learned in school about the French Revolution, and it kind of just left all the kids wanting one of those.
Right.
whoa,
Yeah.
that's awful.
That's Canadian education for you.
Yeah.
Going back, 30 years. Yep. No, when I was in high school, they used to praise it to the sky.
And I talk to Canadians educated in the Canadian leftist system, and somehow they think J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis are the bad guys in their books are the right wing Christians who like industry and business and capitalism.
Interesting.
Well, there you go.
And I'm like, I had
Have you read these guys?
I had a conversation landscaping about 3 years ago with a lady who was probably 35, 36.
Yeah.
She was just going on about how Elon Musk was like the bad guys in Tolkien, and
Right.
I'm not a huge fan of Elon Musk. He's got his issues, but he's not. I think Tolkien and Lewis were talking about the crazy leftists who wanted to destroy and rip apart reality and like transgenderism and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. No, he. That's funny. That's funny that the left would look at them and be like,
they've
horrible.
Yeah, they've basically just taken Tolkien and Lewis and just changed it all up and fit it into their own worldview.
They're projecting.
Yeah,
The left can't help but project.
I guess so.
That is one of the problems that the ideological left has.
Yeah,
Is that they cannot see the world through somebody else's eyeballs.
well, and they don't know how to read a text.
No, they can't read a text. They can't read a man.
They
They
don't
can't read the room.
They don't understand authorial intent.
No,
Right.
they can't.
Yeah, and in so many cases, it's deliberately so.
Yeah,
The whole idea of critical race theory that undergirds the way that leftists often think is set. It's the whole world set on edge.
Yep.
And so, how in the world are you going to get anything straight
Yep.
when you're looking through
Yeah.
glasses that make your eyes go there and there?
Yeah. No, the whole thing is kind of, it's interesting to me because one of the signs of like wisdom and maturity, one of the signs is the ability to see the other guy's point of view, right? I might disagree with you, but I can see how you would get where you are
Right.
through your own eyes. And it's actually a thing I enjoy doing when arguing with somebody is to restate their position so that they can affirm, I recognize this position as being my own or close to, right? It's something I enjoy doing. But when you get into, a dispute with a leftist, this is a thing that they either cannot do or refuse to do.
Yeah, willful blindness.
Yeah. And I think in part it comes down to their ideas about meaning and words, and words as tools of power.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be more on the willful blindness part, but they cannot do this viewing the world through my opponent's perspective for half a minute, just to see what they're saying. Because to do that would be to surrender to the power of my opponent.
Yes, because I'm trying to anathematize you.
Yeah.
And if I speak your argument in such a way that you could recognize it, then I'm
surrendering power.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a power thing.
Yeah.
I can't prove it, but that is my supposition. So, yeah, for what it's worth.
Well, yeah. I think as like when we look at people's motivations, power often plays a huge role in a lot of things going on.
Yep.
So
especially in the left.
Especially in the left.
Paradigmatic.
Yep.
There you go. Do you have a book, Brad?
I just started reading something, and I'm really enjoying it, and so I thought I'd recommend it, though I haven't yet finished it. It's called The Song of Roland.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yes,
well done.
It's an Anglo-Norman epic about Charlemagne and Roland. And now the story, in brief, is when revolves around when Charlemagne made his first big expedition into what's now Spain, Andalusia, and he whooped on some of the local Muslim rulers, and then on his way back home, because the Saxons started trouble again, those naughty Saxons. Anyway, so on his way home, he's crossing the Pyrenees, and his baggage train got ambushed by a bunch of Basques, and they stole all of his loot that he'd just gotten from Spain. So in the poem, the epic poem, Roland is the guy in charge of the vanguard, or the rear guard, sorry, and he's the guy that gets ambushed, fights off these guys. Now in the epic poem, it's the Moors he's fighting, the Saracen, not the Basque. But in the actual history, he was fighting Basque tribesmen. So, but in the epic poem, he's fighting the Moors. It's fantastic poetry. It is really, really good stuff. We think the poem came down to us via the Anglo-Norman literary tradition. So we're talking William the Conqueror era. So it's believed by some scholars that the guy that, like, we don't know the author of the poem. It's believed that it was possibly William the Conqueror's uncle or one of his cousins who was a bishop who wrote it down. So the penning of the epic would be, 250 years after the event.
Okay,
so a bit removed from the history, but we've got documentary evidence for the facts of the case. But it really is a fantastic, gripping epic. I heartily recommend it.
Okay. I have a book here that I intend to do what the title says. This is by a local man by the name of Dennis Landis. Dennis Landis wrote this book called Finish Well. Yes, and I have a bookmark about halfway through, so I have not yet finished well. and I am working my way through it. Dennis has lots of good stuff to say. He's talking about how he's looking at all these folk who didn't finish well, and he's looking at it in a whole bunch of different areas of life, in church life, in business life, in a bunch of different things, and he's got different snapshots of people, and is telling their story, and then talking about what would it take to finish well. Right. It seems like really good stuff to me.
Excellent.
Dennis Landis, Finish Well. I got this from Amazon.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
He's written a couple books, hasn't he?
I don't know. That's the first one I've seen of him.
Because I think Nolan Dick was mentioning that he's also written a book on leadership.
Okay. Well, this is on leadership, this one.
Okay.
Right.
Excellent.
That's probably it.
Nice.
Could be. It's interesting when a local man writes a book.
Yeah, a believer too.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. All right.
Local businessman, right?
Yeah. So today we are going to return back to Exodus chapter 21.
Yes.
And we are taking ourselves up in verse 15.
Yes.
Now
Exodus
this
21.
Now this just to frame where we're at. Okay, we have finished the Ten Commandments passage,
That was chapter 20.
chapter 20, and now we are into various and sundry other laws. Now the thing is that there is no break in the course of the text between the giving of the Ten Commandments and then all of these laws. So it is reasonable to expect that what's going on here is that up to when we return back to the narrative in the beginning of chapter 24.
Yeah, that's a ways off yet.
Yeah, that what is happening is that God is dictating these laws to Moses for Israel. So the Ten Commandments are given as well as these laws. Now, these laws are of an interesting sort. In the last episode, we covered the laws about slavery. Now, the one of the things to consider about these laws is that these are case studies. These are case laws.
They're case studies on the Ten Commandments.
They are, and
Yeah.
they're not like Roman law where we've got prescription of behavior on every minute detail. But what we're getting here is we're getting a case from which we are supposed to derive certain principles that can be applied elsewhere. So that is
okay. So our approach to law is not do this. It's okay. Here's a problem.
Yep. Here's the solution.
Yeah.
This is the principle.
So we've got a norm, which is the law, and then with the Ten Commandments, and then basically a lot of Exodus and the books of the law is taking situations and saying, okay, how do the Ten Commandments apply here?
Yep.
So norm, situation, and the frame has the tri-perspectival thing,
Yeah.
and I'm forgetting what the other point is.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'm forgetting it as well.
Anyway, go to frame.
Yeah.
John Frame.
So we're starting in verse 15. Whoever strikes his father or mother shall be put to death. Ah, yes. So this is in keeping with the idea of Exodus 20:12. Honor your father and mother so that your days may be long in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. So we're talking about the honoring of one's parents.
This is following right on the heels of 12-14, where it says, whoever strikes a man so that he dies shall be put to death. But if he does not lie in wait for him. Anyway, so this is, there is a connection to the former idea as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is not an accidental thing.
No.
This is an intentional assault on your parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why is assaulting your parents such a bad thing?
Well, so there's degrees here. It's actually worse to assault your father or mother because there's a natural affection that ought to be there. So Romans 1, I think, talks about how vile. So there's the degrees of God giving a people up, which is first to the confusion of their own mind, I believe, and then to basically homosexual practices. And then the next degree is basically just all sorts of confusion, and one of them is refers to natural affection and going against natural affection or covenantal faithfulness. And so I think there's something very unique about a son striking his father or mother, or a daughter striking her father or mother, because there's something that flies in the face of what should be something like a natural bond of covenant that lies between a child and their parents. And also it includes an act of dishonoring or disrespecting them.
Yeah.
Isn't it the case that in a lot of I don't know if I want to say ancient literature, but in in the pagan world, the son overthrowing the father
Is a central theme.
is a central theme.
Yes.
That's a big
Yes.
deal.
Funny story. My children and I were discussing this at the dinner table yesterday.
You and your sons.
And my daughters, yes.
That's good.
It started with Liam, but It included everybody very shortly, because you see in the what's that Sophocles cycle of tragedies called?
You're on your own.
I'm on my own. The dude who accidentally kills his dad in a road rage incident.
Yeah, I've read that kind of stuff.
Sophocles.
I don't remember that exact story.
Yeah, Jocasta is his mother, wife, and his name is...
Well, even the whole Oedipus Rex
Oedipus,
story.
that's it, Oedipus.
Oh, okay, that's actually Oedipus.
That's Oedipus,
okay.
yeah. So the whole idea of Oedipus is that the son kills the father, becomes the king, marries the mother, discovers that was an accident. Whoops. And, and fate, and he's a good and just man, but fate overrules all.
Yeah,
it's the same story in the Minotaur cycle of stories, where the hero, and again I'm forgetting his name, but he winds up going back to Athens, only to have a dead father, a ruined city. Oh, by the way, he killed the dragon, but he doesn't get the girl. It's a complete inversion.
Of the real story.
Of the real story, yeah, because Dionysius steals his bride and then drugs her so that she's happy to stay with him. But anyway, so the Greeks got everything backwards. Paganism gets the true story all backwards. And one of the things in paganism is, rather than honoring the father, the son must overthrow the father. Mm-hmm. In order to rule, you must overthrow the father. This is where I look at...
That's revolution.
It is revolutionary. It's French Revolution. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this verse 15 here of chapter 21 is an anti-French Revolution verse, if you want to hang your hat on one.
Right.
But this is something I find very interesting about the Aeneid, is that Aeneas, in the Aeneid, does not overthrow his father. He carries his father out of Troy. He defends his father. His father dies not at his hand.
That's a step in the right direction.
And is that actually a rare thing in Greek and Roman literature?
Very. Okay. Vanishingly rare.
Yeah, okay.
When you see sons and fathers, you typically see them at war in the ancient poets with each other, typically. Now, in the Christian era, that is completely reversed.
Right.
You will see, and I think that's Trinitarian, you will see the son waging the father's wars.
Right.
Now, Virgil is writing in the Christian era, or very close to.
Right.
He's writing for Caesar Augustus, so he predates Christ by a little bit, but not by much. So he's the one notable pagan where he inverts the old story.
Okay.
Again, he is imitating the Odyssean myth, where Telemachus is not trying to supplant his father. He's actually trying to defend his father's house. So Telemachus and Odysseus is the one Greek exception, and Virgil and Aeneas is the one Roman exception. And they're notable exceptions.
Right. That's interesting, though. Exodus was not written late. It was written
early. Yes.
And one has to wonder if Homer hadn't read it.
I believe it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
Because
you'd think so. Because this idea, whoever strikes his father or his mother shall be put to death, is deep in the Christian
psyche.
Yep. But it's been there a long, long time.
Yep.
It's not like this was developed as something. This is something
very old,
brand new.
Yep.
Well, no, it's not. The Lord laid this down for His people a long, long time ago.
Yep. And then so you start to see in some of the pagan literature the idea that the striking of one's father is a crime punishable by the gods. So in Oedipus Rex, he accidentally kills his father and still winds up in a position where the gods can't even save him from the justice of the Furies or the Fates.
Yeah.
So, it's a very interesting thing. Whereas here, it's whoever strikes his father or mother. There's more intentionality.
So this thematic thing of fathers and sons lies very deeply within the human psyche, and
Yep.
It's interesting that the last words of at least the the English version of the Old Testament ends with these words in Malachi 4, verse 5-6. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the great and awesome day of the Lord comes, and he will turn the hearts of the fathers to their children, and the hearts of the children should actually be sons to their fathers, lest I come and strike the land with a decree of utter destruction.
Yeah, so the Lord is undoing
the curse.
Yeah.
And it is interesting, throughout the Old Testament, you do find a lot of challenging relationships between fathers and sons. So, like, Solomon's son Rehoboam is mocking his father, and
Absalom.
But at the same time, you still see that the trajectory is still different than the nations around them.
Yeah, you see father-son issues between Jonathan and Saul. Jonathan never raises his hand against his father. You see between...
But he's certainly going a different direction than his father.
Yes, but he's not raising his hand against his father.
He's doing it in an honoring way.
Very much so. Jonathan is one of the most amazing men in the Bible.
Yeah, he is.
He really is. Then you've got David with his two rotten sons, Absalom and Ammon,
right,
who both lift up their hand against their father.
Right.
To lift up your hand against your sister is to lift up your hand against your father. That's Ammon's sin.
That's in one of these laws.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, things that we've covered in Moses, David runs into for some reason. And Absalom being another one, Rehoboam. Then you've got Hezekiah and Manasseh. There's a sense where Manasseh completely abandons Hezekiah's faithfulness. Then you've got the three sons of Noah, and one of whom is a rotter.
Yeah.
You've got Esau, who, in a sense, is raising his hand against his father. The promise isn't going through Esau. So he goes out and he provokes his parents by marrying foreign women. Many foreign women.
made lives bitter for Isaac and Rebekah.
Yes, made their lives bitter. And Isaac was still like, I want that guy to inherit everything.
Cranky pagan women.
Yeah. So watch out for those cranky pagan women.
Christian women are so much happier, especially usually when you're walking in faithfulness to God.
Yep. And if she's a cranky Christian woman, have yourself a talk. But so this is a thing, and again, there's a huge reversal of the father-son war in Jesus Christ, who did not consider equality with God the Father something to be grasped, right? So he, and then in the garden when he's praying, take this cup from me, not my will but yours. So he is inverting the father-son war.
Yes.
And in him we have this inversion as our inheritance.
And Jesus comes to do the will of the Father.
Yes.
He's seeking in every way to advance his Father's cause.
Yep. Yeah, he repeatedly says so. Yeah.
And then Paul, in his instructions to the church in Ephesus in Ephesians 6, verse 1-4, he's basically instructing fathers and sons in this pattern of the unity of fathers and sons, where he's warning fathers against their natural proclivity to enrage their sons, and he's warning sons against their natural proclivity to disobey or dishonor their fathers.
Yep.
Right.
So the world law is being restored.
Yeah, that's right. The law is set there. And it's set in places like this. Whoever strikes his father or mother should be put to death. The law is set there, but I'm a sinner, and I look at that and it grates against me. Yep. And so my natural or my fleshly natural inclination is to do the wrong thing. And Paul comes along with a corrective, right? Yes. And he addresses that innate sense of, boy, I want to rebel.
This is what the new world in Christ looks like,
right?
Yep.
It's unity between fathers and sons, and often we don't see that perfect unity, at least between fathers and sons in churches.
It's true,
but nevertheless, we do see. I've had lots of conversations with people, and you do see that longing and desire for sons to be reconciled with their fathers and fathers to be reconciled with their sons, and people are working at it, and they're having conversations, and
trying.
You actually see something happening because they're trying because they know what
the good is.
What the good is. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. And it is difficult for some fellows because they, let's say you have an unbelieving father, right?
Yeah.
So this can be a really hard thing, right? I know lots of folk in this kind of a predicament where they want to show proper godly honor to their father, and their father hates God. Like for me, it's kind of easier because my dad loves Jesus, right? Like
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, but I do know quite a few of these folks who don't have this this benefit. So for them, the honoring of father in many ways is expressed in obedience to Christ in everything, because what better way is there to honor your father than to honor the God whom your father should honor?
Yes.
So, but yeah.
So it's I think it's right and true that some of our modern prognosticators who are looking at all the troubles that arise culturally, and they're looking at it and they say, well, fatherlessness is really a problem.
It is.
So what do we do with that?
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is a problem.
But it's not just that fatherlessness is a problem, but true sonship is also a problem.
Yes.
Like we're failing on both counts.
Yes.
And this is a thing that many of the prognosticators have not cottoned on to. Is it what is preventing you from being an honorable son?
Well, and this is the thing. All the guys screaming about boomers right now have to remember that they're responsible as well to create a godly and orderly society. Yep. But they just want to blame it on the boomers.
Yeah, and when they're old, what excuse are they going to have?
Yeah, what are my grandsons going to be screaming at about me?
Yeah, what excuse do they have if they turn around and then discover that their grandchildren hate the world that they've created?
Yeah.
Like, whoops.
You created this this angry, chaotic universe because you couldn't get over the fact that your boomer grandfather made mistakes.
Yeah, yeah. So
or made sins, I should say.
Yeah. So we have to recover both true, honorable, godly fatherhood, but true, honorable, and godly sonship. We need to recover both.
Yes.
And a lot of these online people aren't saying that, and I'm sitting there wondering why they're talking.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what? Okay. Well, and what are you doing?
It's also instructive here that it's not just father.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Whoever strikes his father or his mother shall be put to death.
Yep.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
This is critical. Especially. Well, I think it's really important that husbands protect their wives from their children. Yep. Because the wife is the weaker vessel, and I think there's something really deep in the design of creation. There as well. So.
Yeah, my wife is a part of my person, like she is part of me.
Yeah,
this is what the scriptures say when the two shall become one flesh.
Become one flesh.
Yeah, so she is me. To say that my wife is me is not to engage in a logical fallacy. It's a theological truth.
Yeah.
So if my son attacks my wife, he is attacking me. It's just that simple. However, when we look at the flip side about honor, so when my son honors his mother, he is also honoring me. But he's also we tend to think highly of mothers in our culture, and I think that's pretty common across most cultures. Most cultures value the mother very highly, because it's an obvious good. You came from your mother.
Yeah.
You came out of her body.
Well, I would actually say that our society very much devalues motherhood.
Yeah, but what value we have.
That's right. Okay. Yeah.
But there are other times in history where we did value our mothers more.
Yeah.
And I think in many ways we should just return to that.
Right.
Stop being stupid and go back to better ways.
Elevate the mother again.
Yeah. Now there are those who have weird things about Mary and whatever.
Well, she is most blessed among women.
She is.
Right. She in jail.
She in jail.
She in jail.
Yeah.
Mother jail.
Yeah. But even Mary, her main theological comment about her son was, whatever he does, obey him.
That's right.
That's what she said.
That's a good point.
Yeah. But anyway, no, the honor of one's mother should be an obviously good and Christian thing to do.
Yeah.
Now like you said, Nathan, we've lost a lot of that in our culture, just like we've lost the honoring of father. I think in our culture, why the loss of the honor of the father is such a big deal is because the left has pushed the narrative really hard. They've pushed the dad is an idiot. Like you look at a sitcom.
Yeah.
How is dad portrayed?
Yeah. He's almost always the idiot.
He's an idiot. He sits there on the couch watching the football game, drinking the beer.
Well, yeah, maybe they push the Marxist power struggle on some level too.
Yeah. But dad is always, the bum.
Mm-hmm.
Dad is always stupid. Or dad is not necessary. Like you look at Hollywood movies, for example, which is in large part our modern cultural catechesis.
Yeah.
How are fathers portrayed? They're usually not there.
Right.
If you've got a depiction in Hollywood of a family, 9 times out of 10, it's a mom and a son.
Yeah.
And even Christian movies have tended to do that too, where the mother is pious and the father is just kind of not serious about Christianity.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember that family movie from like the 70s or 80s. I forget what it's called. But,
it does happen, yeah.
Yeah, but it does happen in various movies, yeah.
Yeah, and they're pushing a narrative. And that's why I think that the honoring your father thing is such a big issue, whereas mother is always present in these depictions.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is still a thing.
So we don't really know what masculine piety looks like or even feminine piety looks like because all of our literature in the last 50 to 75 years has been
trash.
Yeah.
Leftist trash.
Yeah. if you want to exalt women, get your nose in Exodus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot in here.
Get your nose into Exodus.
Yep.
It's a deep and abiding slander that says of the Christian church that she's an oppressor of women.
Yeah.
that is a deep and abiding slander, and it is a slander. It's not true.
Mm-hmm.
It's not true. You want to find a place that has exalted women?
Yep.
Look in the Christian faith.
Yep. 100%.
Women and their roles have been exalted. They're not put down.
Look at a Christian wedding. It's all about the bride.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
The bride is the centerpiece of the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we're all singing the praises of the bride, right?
Yes, we are. Which makes sense typologically too when we're talking about Christ in the church.
Yeah, because Christ exalts his church.
He does. He sings the praises of his bride. And
he describes her as fearsome as an army with banners.
Yeah, which is a marvelous image, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. Now go into the Islamic world and then tell me the same thing.
Yeah.
I dare you. The Islamic world is they draw their ethic, their moral framework from Bedouin paganism. It is pre-Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want to look at how the old world treated women, how the Greeks treated women, how the Romans treated women, how the barbarian Germans treated women, how the Scythians treated women, how the Egyptians treated women, how the Persians. If you want to look at the Chinese and how they treated women, just look at modern day Islam and you get it.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Yeah.
So figure this out here. Are you going to keep slandering us, or are you going to actually look at the evidence
Right.
that is on the table in front of you? Yeah.
And that's right in the Old Testament law.
Yep. Yeah, it's the Old Testament law.
So even if some Christians who we snipe at them and call them dirty Christian nationalists down in the States say that women shouldn't vote,
Yeah.
the amount of rights and honor and privileges that they bestow upon women are far greater than any society in human history.
Yeah, especially in the East. So, I mean, yeah, some people are determined not to read the story in front of them.
Yeah.
And you just got to shake your head and let them have their way on Twitter because, I mean, answer a fool not according to his folly. But anyway, so verse 15 is
we
parallel.
made it to verse, we're still on verse 15.
Well, verse 15 is paralleled by verse 17. Whoever curses his father or mother shall be put to death.
Yeah.
So it's not just striking with your hand; it's
also
striking with your tongue.
Yeah. But a curse, I mean, that's a very specific thing. You're calling down curses on your parents. So, yeah, it is a striking with the tongue. Again, pointing us towards honor.
Reviles, or so Septuagint would be translated reviles,
Yep.
or dishonors. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're pointing towards honor.
Yes.
So honor your parents in your speech. That's for some difficult. Some people have had rotten parents, but guess what? This is what the word of the Lord says. So do it.
So do it.
Now,
It's obedience.
it is. Now, these two statements, whoever strikes his father or mother, whoever curses his father or mother, they sandwich verse 16.
Right.
A very interesting little thing.
Whoever steals a man and sells him, and anyone found in possession of him shall be put to death.
Okay, so we're talking about kidnapping,
Yes.
and we're talking about slaving,
Man stealing.
man stealing.
Kidnapping, slaving.
And it's not just the kidnapper, but he who's found in possession of the stolen goods.
Right. It's the buyer also.
It's the buyer. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the buyer too.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
And anyone found in possession of them.
So what was happening with the slave trade in England would have been pure man stealing.
Yeah. And then when the English evangelicals with Wilberforce and John Clark outlawed it, or got it outlawed, I should say, they were looking at this verse when they did it.
Yeah.
They were like, we're going to outlaw the slave trade on account of that verse.
Yes.
And they did.
Lest you
Good
ever
one.
think that all these weird little case law things that are following the 10 Commandments is just idiosyncrasies. Look at all the deep issues these things raise.
Yes.
And the ways in which obedience to them has made human societies and human history better.
Right.
Yeah. So who was the largest anti-slavery organization in the history of the world?
Evangelical Christians.
The British Empire.
Oh, sorry.
The British Empire.
What was your question again?
Who is the single largest institution that acted against human slavery?
Oh yeah.
The British Empire, the Royal Navy.
Yeah.
So when guys like William Wilberforce, who's a parliamentarian, finally got the anti-slave trade laws passed, the British Empire then set out and made it policy that they would stop slavery wherever they found it.
Right.
So the old law was that, because slavery had been outlawed in England way back before William the Conqueror, I think.
Like slavery altogether.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So I think it goes back to Alfred's Law. I'm not 100% on that. It might be post-Norman conquest, but I think it was pre. And the ancient law was that if a slave landed on England's shores, that slave was free.
Right.
As soon as you touched dirt.
Right,
So-
because you don't hear about, like, if you're reading history, you don't hear about slaves in England.
You don't, because they didn't exist.
It's a long time.
But as soon as we got into the colonial empire building period, we realized, hey, we can buy these people that are in West Africa that have been enslaved, and we can ship them over to our colonies, never land them in England, but ship them to our colonies and then make profit off of them. And guys like William Wilberforce said, no, that's wrong. John Newton was also involved, the hymnist. He had been a slave, a
Trader
slaver
himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had been.
He deserved death.
He did. And he, in fact, said so, having looked at this passage.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Yeah, the guy that wrote that song.
Yeah.
So he looked at God's law and went, "Whoa, I deserve death." And then he wound up being a minister. In fact, I believe there's a story about him meeting a young William Wilberforce.
He wrote letters to William Wilberforce, and we still have access to
Still
those
have access to
letters.
them. So he had a relationship with Wilberforce when Wilberforce was a younger man. But when Wilberforce was an older man, he actually finally got the thing done. And so what the British Empire did, using the Royal Navy in particular, was we went out of our way to end the slave trade wherever we ruled. So that we ended the slave trade in India, we ended the slave trade in South Africa, we ended the slave trade in East Africa, we ended the slave trade in our New World colonies. So the fact that the Trans-Canada Indian slave trade got stopped has to do with the British Empire. Mm-hmm. And that's not in a lot of Canadian history books, but it should be. It's one of the signal moral victories of Christendom in North America. Mm. We stopped the trading of slaves in North America. It took a long time, but we did it. Wherever we went, we stopped it.
Right.
So, and that was being driven by the evangelicals straight out of Westminster, the Chatham sect, those guys. And they were looking at this verse. Now, the modern African slave trade that does still exist, I mean, they're still doing this.
Yes.
The sex slave trade that is underground in North America right now is doing this.
Yeah.
Right. If you were a Western man given to enslaving others,
you can find a way.
Yeah, you can find a way.
Yep.
The way of just going and stealing people and putting them to your service. Well, there's certain kinds of people you can steal and put to your service.
Yep. That no one else knows about.
That no one else knows about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
The sex tourism in Thailand is playing on this thing. That's slavery.
Yeah.
Whenever I find out about some Canadian politician that goes off to Thailand and gets, caught in a brothel, I'm like, oh, really? You're that kind of a dirtbag. But anyway, so there's still a lot of work to be done here.
Yes.
In overthrowing slavery. But it is interesting to me that in the scriptures, anybody that's a slaver, so you've got this, you've got laws about slaves earlier on in chapter 21, and then you've got this whoever steals a man and sells him bit. So there's a distinction here between these two types of slave, I think, which I find very interesting as well.
Okay. Elaborate.
Well, you've got the slavery referred to in the law about somebody who has debts they can't pay.
Right.
So they sell themselves off.
Right.
To pay back the debt. And I think that's being described in chapter 21. But then you've got in verse 16, the verse we're looking at right now,
right,
where you're going out to enslave.
Yes.
Where
you actually go to steal somebody.
You're stealing somebody.
Yes.
So this is not like if I owed Nathan a whole pile of money and then I'm like, hey, I can't pay you back, but for the next 7 years I'll work as your slave and my labor will pay you back. And Nathan's like, okay. So then
you can fix the sink.
Yeah, you can fix the sink. It's broken. And then when you're done the sink, the hole in the wall. So the law clearly has provisions for that, and that is the biblical vision of what a permitted form of slavery was. It has to do with paying back a debt that was probably foolishly entered into. Like this is not a you're not allowed to sell somebody off because they're poor, because they're they're just down of a lower economic class. You're not allowed to oppress them. You're not allowed to steal them. This is somebody that owes a specific debt that has a specific monetary value. You get 7 years of labor out of the deal, basically, and then that person goes free in the year of Jubilee. But this is the stealing of a man.
Yes. In Exodus, this is, of course, the children of Israel coming up out of Egypt. Mm-hmm. There was a story in Israel's history about this, right?
Yep.
In Genesis 37, the brothers taking Joseph, stealing him, as it were, from his father, selling him into slavery in Egypt.
Yeah.
Whoever steals a man and sells him, and anyone found in possession of him shall be put to death. That's an indictment of the founding fathers of Israel.
It is.
Yeah, all 12 tribes. Mm-hmm. Well, 10 tribes.
Yeah, but not Benjamin and not Joseph's.
Right.
Yeah. But yes. No, it is interesting. Mm-hmm. And also an indictment of Egypt.
Of Egypt, too.
Yep.
Of that place where you could sell somebody to them.
They were buying.
They'd just toss them in jail and use them for their own means.
Well, I think all the nations around did man stealing.
Yes, it's a common Yeah. Whenever you read ancient literature, that is an exquisitely common thing.
Right.
It's not just, the natives here in North America that were raiding and stealing each other's women.
Right.
The Greeks did it. The Romans did it.
Right.
I mean, what else is the story of the rape of the Sabines? Come on, people. If you, the Iliad, why are Agamemnon and Achilles fighting? Well, they're fighting over a girl named Briseis. Well, who is Briseis? Well, they stole her.
Yeah.
They kidnapped the poor thing.
Yeah.
Like, she got stolen from her village.
Yeah.
They stopped off on their way to Troy to raid and plunder some villages because they were like, well, there's some cute chicks and there's some beef cattle and there's some gold. Let's steal that. So we killed the men, stole that. The whole central conflict in that epic poem is a conflict over a slave woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is the ancient world.
Yeah. Remember the story of Naaman? Naaman, the Syrian general who gets leprosy. Mm-hmm. And what am I going to do? He says, and this little slave girl who was captured from a raid in Israel comes and talks to him, says, what you really need to do is go and see the prophet in Israel. Oh.
Yeah. No, that's an interesting story. Because we don't know her name. She just pipes up.
Yeah, that's
and she's like, hey, I know what you need to do. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because speaking of the honor given to women in the scriptures, what does Naaman do? He obeys the word of the girl.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, of a slave girl, which is very interesting that the general who commands, the Syrian armies would obey the voice of a slave girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is very interesting.
Yeah.
So the man stealing is the predominant motivation for ancient warfare. Mm-hmm. The Roman economy was based on it, but everywhere you look, people engage in raiding warfare so that they can get slaves.
Right.
The Byzantine Empire made tons of money shipping kipchaks into Egypt. Tons of money for 200 years. The Mamluks that ruled Egypt were descendants of steppe nomads that had been kidnapped by Byzantine war parties, or had been purchased by Byzantine tradesmen.
Yeah.
Based on war between the Slavs and the whatever. I mean, the word Slav that we used to refer to Russians and Bosnians and Bosniaks and all that.
Right.
The word Slav comes to us in English as slave.
Yeah.
Right. That's where we get the word slave.
Yeah.
Because they were so often enslaved.
Right.
So,
the Byzantines were enslaving them. The Egyptians were enslaving
everybody
them.
was.
Yeah.
They were trading these slaves everywhere. So, Jeffrey Epstein is a pre-Christian man, or was.
Yes.
Right. That is the normal behavior of pre-Christian men. Mm-hmm. Why we are offended by him is because of Jesus Christ.
And if we keep rejecting Christianity,
we get more of that.
We're going to get more of Epstein.
Yeah, 100%. Like, that's just the way it is.
So all these people who are hiding out in their homes, fretting about Jeffrey Epstein and not going to church, need to get to church.
Yeah, like
worship God again.
Yeah, do you want more of Epstein or less? Like, figure this out. Mm-hmm. This is not hard.
See the transformation of society by the Spirit of God.
Mm-hmm. Yep, beginning with your own home.
Yep, your own heart.
Yeah. So should we go on to verse 18?
Let's do so.
Yeah, this is great.
When men quarrel, and one strikes the other with a stone or with his fist, and the man does not die, but takes to his bed, then if the man rises again and walks outdoors with his staff, he who struck him shall be clear. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time and shall have him thoroughly healed.
Okay. So
this is employment insurance.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is.
And it's not socialized employment insurance. It's the kind of insurance that actually makes sure that the man who did the harm pays the price.
So it's interesting. Let's modernize this case law. So let's say that Pastor Nathan and I get into a fisticuffs and he beats me up. He just beats the brakes off of me. Okay, now, and Jamie is
probably
the judge.
shouldn't be a pastor anymore if I do that.
Well, we'll see. I mean, in this case, probably
I'll
not.
be the judge.
So yeah, Jamie can be the judge. Now, in modern law, Nathan beats the brakes off of me. Jamie fines Nathan. Who does the fine go to?
Me.
Jamie.
Yes.
It's a very lucrative business for the government fining people. Now,
yes.
in the biblical law, Nathan beats the brakes off of me. Jamie fines Nathan. Who does Nathan pay? Me.
Brad.
Yeah. So the man wronged, and in this case, I get paid for the loss of my time.
Yes.
So I don't get paid for emotional damages to the tune of $14 billion. I get paid for the loss of my time.
Yes.
So if my time is worth, $500 a day, and I was in bed for 3 days, that's $1,500.
Right.
Like, that's a payable fine.
I would pay for the loss of your time, but also I would pay for your medical bills.
Yeah. So,
Right.
And shall have him thoroughly healed.
Yeah. So let's say I hired a doctor, or had to hire a doctor to set my leg because he beat the brakes off of me and then broke my leg. Just set it on a curb and jumped up and down on it a few times. So,
Wow, that's violent.
wow, it's effective. But anyway, let's say the doctor spent 2 hours working on my leg at, $1,200 an hour. That's $2,400 plus your 15. I mean, that's a payable fine. But I mean, it's significant enough that it hurt.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, my leg hurts, but your bank account hurts. But there's been a proper restitution.
So that means that if we're fighting in the UFC and I beat you to a pulp and you can't do anything for about a year, that also means I have to pay that fine.
Well, but here's the thing, though. We're in the UFC. Are we quarreling? I don't think so.
Yeah, that's kind of professional.
That's
Professional beating you to a pulp.
yeah, it's a professional beatdown. I don't.
Okay. Yeah.
And nothing personal. Beat.
Yeah. Well, the thing. Yeah. But here's
No anger, just pure.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though. I don't know how, and this is again where you can.
There's a bit of gray.
You can say, well, there's principles here we need to draw, but does sport fighting count? I don't know if the Hebrews, via the law here, had any concept of sport fighting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't recall any.
Yeah, when you look in the law, everybody that's fighting is either angry, defending themselves, or stealing people.
Because that's the thing. Men get angry at each other, and men fight. Yeah. And this law is intended to restrain men from doing harm or damage.
Right.
Yeah. It is, and
sport fighting grows in a land that's been peaceful.
Yes,
and men they're aggressive and they need outlets.
Yeah, I tend to think that sport combat is a Christian development.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
which I know that there are Christians out there who look at me completely sideways and cross-eyed when I say that. But anyway.
I think it's worth reflecting on it and trying to make that argument, though.
Yeah, and we have a friend that's done that, Jeremy Gardner.
Yes,
he has done some reflection on that on his YouTube channel. Now, the other principle here that is really important is the principle of restitution.
Yes,
this is not a principle of rehabilitation; it's a principle of restitution. So this is the opposite of our current criminal system.
Right.
And there's nothing about emotional damages here.
Nothing.
I think that's a stupid modern day category.
Yes. Agreed. I mean, if emotional damage was a real thing, then I should have billions and billions of dollars paid to me by the government because they have been wicked.
Yes.
They've hurt me emotionally.
Yeah, clearly. Like, where do you put the brakes on that train? I have no idea. Yeah,
it's not a quantifiable form of restitution, whereas this is very much quantifiable.
Yes.
I've lost work.
Yeah,
right.
We can put a monetary value on my time.
Yes.
Based on my wages.
I did this to you, and therefore I owe you.
Yep.
In order, yeah.
Yeah, it's really actually quite simple.
Now, what if you can't work because of emotional damages?
Nonsense. Yeah.
You know, I'm just thinking about the way that the modern state enriches itself on people's bad behavior.
Yeah, what's with that?
I'm thinking about that
it's a terrible thing.
And looking at this and saying, these things are not that's not Christian. There's some. Why is it that when I'm going 70 miles an hour and the red and blue lights come on behind me and they pull me over and they give me a ticket, I'm paying who?
Yeah.
Like who? Yeah, I'm paying the state.
Yeah.
I'm paying the state.
Now, one of the justifications that I used to hear a lot, especially in high school, is you got to pay society.
Mm-hmm.
To which I asked the question, what is society and how did I harm them?
Yeah.
Who are they? What do I owe them? And how many of them are actually getting what I'm paying?
Right. but it's that way right across the board. It's not just speeding tickets that there's all kinds of ways that you
are fine.
You can harm somebody, and then in order to pay, you always wind up paying the state.
Yep.
For harming that guy.
Now, if you get into a car crash with somebody and injure them,
right,
your insurance can pay for some of their repairs on their car.
Right.
But the fines associated with your bad driving go to the state, who is paying for the hospitalization of that guy. Okay. Which theoretically, but that's not where the money goes.
Right. Theoretically, that's right.
Because the money from fines for traffic accidents and whatnot does not go into the healthcare budget. It goes into
the policing budget.
The policing budget. The money's not going to care for that man.
Right.
The money for the care of that man has been allocated via taxes drawn from the general populace the year before, or borrowings more commonly.
So is the issue with the speed limit or speeding tickets?
Well, the issue from my mind is, who are we paying?
Okay, yeah.
If my ticket went to pay the person I harmed, as restitution for the harm given, then that makes biblical sense to me.
There's a bit of a restitution pool that is collected with tickets.
Yeah, but there's not, because the money doesn't go to the victims. It goes into other things.
But you could see a case for speeding tickets if there was a restitution pool for the for the victims of car accidents.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, so if my fine went into a pool to help car accident victims, that might ameliorate the trouble.
Yeah, I think it starts to look like this verse.
Yeah, it starts to look a little bit more like this.
Yeah,
if it's just feeding
the policing budget.
Policing.
Well, and this is the joke too. Everybody tells the joke that at the end of the month, everybody gets traffic fine tickets because they're trying to make quotas.
Right.
Which is true. I mean, the cops complain loudly that it isn't true, and we all know better. Mm-hmm. At the end of the month, they're out writing tickets for traffic infractions to make their quotas. They have budgetary constraints they need to solve.
Well, technically, taxation should be what pays for policing budgets.
Should. And it does, but they're also where's this money going that they're ticketing?
Right.
Yeah.
It's not going to the victims.
That's right.
Because a lot of these tickets are issued when there is no victim. And that's another question.
Yes. Is driving 70 in a 60 zone, is that a victimless crime?
Yeah, and I have had people straight up tell me, oh, the crime was committed against the victim is society.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
So if you impose,
did I break society's leg? I don't know.
If you impose strict penalties when there are accidents, when there's inebriated driving, stuff like that, you're right away constraining people and making them take more precautions on the road.
Yeah,
that's true.
Do speeding tickets actually
do that? Maybe
do what we want to have done?
Well, the thing about constraining evil. This is a point at which the law is useful. But there is an example of a law where we're told that when you build your house, you're supposed to have a parapet around the roof of your house to prevent people from falling off of the roof.
Right.
And if somebody falls off of the roof, you're liable. I find it interesting that in that law, there's no fine for failure to build the parapet. There's a fine for the person being injured because you failed.
Right.
So,
which would follow what we just read about, you pay for that guy until he's healed.
Yep. So, and if he dies, then you're liable for manslaughter.
Right.
So that's negligent manslaughter. So with traffic in particular, I think that is an avenue that should be explored,
Right.
The idea that, like, if I don't make sure that my brakes are working and then I hurt somebody or kill somebody, then I should be liable for that action.
Right.
And what that liability should cause in me is a desire to ensure my brakes work.
Right.
But if I get a fine because my brakes are out of spec, even though I haven't done anything, I look at that and I'm like, well, wait, this sounds a lot like a gray area. Yeah, it's difficult because we're also dealing with sinful people.
Right.
There are guys who will not inspect their brakes, and they don't care. And those guys are usually driving trucks that wind up in the ditch on top of, minivans.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
It's This is why the law is so interesting to meditate upon.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You have set me in a broad place. It's a place of freedom.
Yeah.
Because it protects you from injustices, it protects you from abuses. It's a reminder to the person who might do something like this that you need to restrain yourself.
Yep. The positive side
based on the principle of self-government.
Yeah, the positive side of this law in verse 18 is that you should have self-control.
Yeah, that's right.
Instead of quarreling with your neighbor and then being liable for the damages, don't.
If you punch Brad, just punch him once. Don't hurt him.
Yep.
And
then walk away.
And then walk away.
Yeah, meathead. Limited violence. Okay.
Limited violence.
Yes. Yeah, the church was all about the peace of God. Remember that. All right, so then we get down to verse 20.
Yes.
Should we go to verse 20 or should we leave off here and come
I
back
think
to
we
it?
might need to leave off here.
Yeah, because we're an hour and 6-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
Okay.
we'll do that.
We'll find that verse later.
I think there's a lot in those next two verses.
Oh, yeah. This is just marvelous.
So we did 15 to 19, 4 verses.
Oh, how I love your law. It is my meditation all the day.
Our summary of Exodus.
You
through your commandments make me wiser than my foes, for they are mine, and with me they stay.
Yes.
Yep. So if you're reading through the case laws of Exodus and Exodus 20 and all of that, read Psalm 119 alongside.
Yes.
And just think about it. Like, if you were David living in the crappy world that he lived in, you'd probably be singing as well, oh, how I love your law.
Yeah.
This is great.
This is beautiful. This is amazing. This is freedom.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So next time we shall get to accidentally hitting pregnant women, beating up slaves, and oxen.
Yes.
Ooh.
Lots of good content there.
Oh, yes. I'm
All
excited.
right. Good. Well, we are the Chinook Podcast, and it's our delight to be able to carry on a conversation and share it with you. We pray that the Lord would bless your day today, that you would be able to walk faithfully and uprightly with Him. If you are in the Grand Prairie area and you need a place to worship with the Church of Jesus Christ, please do come and join us at Christ Covenant Church. We love the Lord, we love God's people, and we love this word. And so do come and join us. Blessings to you all.